Hello and welcome to Let's Create with the City of Tampa's Visual Art Studios. My name is Sarah and today we will be making rainbow popsicles. The supplies you're going to need are paper, popsicle sticks, scissors, glue, and coloring materials or construction paper. This first popsicle I'm making, I'm going to use white paper and color the popsicle. You want your popsicle to be about 5 inches tall, so it's not too small. So I used a ruler and I just drew an upside down U shape. I'm trimming the top a little bit so it looks a little more popsicle-y. And now I'm going to color my popsicle with only cool colors. So when I think about cool colors, I think about ice and water and some cool grass and a field. So I'm going to use blue, purple, and green for my first popsicle. I'm going to color this in after I draw some shapes and make an interesting pattern and divide up the popsicle. Once I finish with my first popsicle, or the first side, I'm going to color the second popsicle with warm colors. So when I think of warm colors, I think about sunshine and a bonfire. So bonfires, you think about fire and you think about the oranges and the yellows and the reds. So those are the colors that I'm going to use for the warm side of my popsicle. Now I'm going to glue the popsicle stick and both sides of my popsicle together. I put a little bit of extra glue in the middle where the stick will be. I place the stick and then I put the other side of the popsicle over the stick. And there we have it. There's our popsicle if we were to color it using white paper and coloring materials. The next two popsicles I'm going to make are going to be using construction paper. If you want to use construction paper, you'll need several colors. This one I'm going to start with a nice dark blue. I'm going to make a cool popsicle first again. So again, I just used a ruler and measured about 5 inches. I had my paper folded so that I could cut both sides out at the same time. So now I'm going to cut some pieces of construction paper that are different cool colors. So I have purple and blue and green again and some teal. I'm going to cut out some interesting shapes and patterns again. First I'm going to place them on my popsicle to see if I like the composition or the way that it all looks when it's put together. So for this popsicle, I have some circles and some tiny rectangles and some zigzag lines. Whatever your favorite shapes are, go ahead and use those. I'm going to glue those pieces down in an interesting way. Alright, now I'm going to make my warm popsicle with construction paper. Just mark where 5 inches is, draw your popsicle shape, and fold the paper over. And then I'm going to cut out the folded paper so I have two pieces that are exactly the same. Okay, now I'm going to cut some little pieces, shapes and patterns and interesting pieces of paper to add to my popsicle. Again, the warm colors, you're going to use red, orange, yellow, different shades and values of red, orange, and yellow. Again, I like to work out my composition before I glue it down, so I'll put everything on there, make sure I like it, and then I'll glue it down. And now I'm going to glue the two pieces together. So you put a little extra where the stick goes, and then you put glue all over and put the two pieces together. And now I have my warm popsicle. The next one I'm going to make is going to be a rainbow or a color wheel popsicle. One more time, we just mark where about 5 inches is. And if you make a few of these, you can make one and cut out your popsicle and use that as a template to trace onto the other pieces of paper if you're going to make multiple. That way you don't have to measure every time. So here we are, I'm going to make my rainbow popsicle or my color wheel popsicle. I'm starting with purple, and then on the rainbow or the color wheel, the next color is blue, and then green, and now we have yellow. And then after yellow comes orange, and then after orange comes red. And now I have my rainbow popsicle. And I'm going to glue them together. Press it down really good and set it aside to dry. And here are all of my popsicles. Thank you for joining me today. Join us again soon for another installment of Let's Create with the City of Tampa's Visual Art Studios. And remember, stay calm, stay kind, stay safe, and always stay creative.